As you know, we are talking about the format and presentation as a key component of language curriculum design. So we'll continue our discussion about format and presentation. Well, you might remember when we discussed, format and presentation and their underlying principles. These principles were, you might remember, we discussed about, learning styles. We discussed about motivation, and we discussed about, integrated motivation. So obviously, format and presentation have a sort of 8 principles. Amongst these 8 principles, we got 4 strands, and these 4 strands are about input, output, language-focused learning, and fluency development. So we will discuss these 4 strands one by one, and I'll start with input and output, and we'll discuss their salient characteristics and how we can ensure that a course contains a balanced approach, and a course gives balanced, emphasis to input, output, language-focused learning, and fluency. All right. The first one, input, meaning-focused input, which Krashen calls comprehensible input. Right. Well, meaning-focused input, what are its sources and what it's all about? Well, it could come from different sources. One of the excellent source is, reading. I'll talk about reading later, but, Nation and McAllister argue that listening and speaking, apart from reading, they serve, excellent sources of meaning-focused input. You might be wondering, well, listening is fine. You might be wondering how speaking can become meaning-focused input. We'll see this one later. While, we are sort of, involved in speaking, so we try to focus on the message itself. So, if someone else speaks, so that might become the input for someone else, right? And reading, of course, is a sort of, excellent, like I said before, excellent source of input. And for reading, there are different ways of, introducing reading in the classroom. It could be the teacher reading the textbook, or, some textbooks coming with CDs, which could be played and which could be listened by the learners. Well, there is a, element of extensive reading, and that should be, we should be aware of how we can introduce extensive reading at intermediate and elementary level. Well, listening and speaking as, meaning-focused input. Well, listening, if we want to use listening as a meaning-focused input, so we should make sure that we give equal emphasis. I mean, we don't give, too much importance to reading, right? Of course, reading, like I said before, come with different, in different, different ways. We could use graded reading, from going simple to the complex, right? And similarly, listening can also be graded. For example, listening is going there while we are, having reading activities in the classroom. So we could be using the principle of reading first and listening later. And interaction, this is an important argument, and we need to ensure that, format and presentation of language curriculum design contains the element of interaction. And I've got a very beautiful example here. Like if someone happens to, if you are in the classroom and if you are introducing input through speaking, so if someone speaks, it might become input for some other students. So the whole point here is to ensure that we give enough opportunities for listening and speaking as a sort of input. Now we're going to take up meaning focused output. It comes through speaking and writing. I mean, it's the output. I mean, what we have, what our learners have already learned, and what they have internalized, and what they're going to retain for a longer period of time. So, Nation and McAllister argue while bringing in these four strands, when we are talking about meaning-focused output, we need to ensure that we employ well-balanced approach. I mean, for example, 15% of the course could contain listening input, and 15% could contain, meaning-focused output. Right. So, so far we have, in brief, so far we have seen that meaning-focused input and meaning-focused output does not take place in a vacuum. Rather, there are certain conditions, and we need to ensure that the materials we develop, they meet these conditions. I mean, bringing in some activities which are meaning-focused, which are sort of developed with the help of message-oriented, I mean to say, activities.